Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, and you know what sucks? Regressive leftists. Now, I know I talk about them a lot on my channel, and that's generally because they provide some hilarious fodder to look at. But the more you actually spend time reading what they have to say, you get to see just how full of shit they are, especially when it comes to their feminists. Because their feminists are completely under the mindset of you're either with us or you're against us. And there's been no bigger target about that, at least in entertainment, other than Taylor Swift. Now, this weekend was the Women's March. I believe there was roughly 3 million people, not all women, that marched in a number of cities across the United States. Los Angeles chalked in about 750K. Portland, where I live, was anywhere between 70,000 to 100,000. And Washington, D.C. Had 500,000, more than what was reported for Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, if you're one of those people that say those numbers don't matter, well, I think you're kind of wrong, and the reason why is because Trump loves ratings, and if the ratings ain't good, oh, he mad. And that's what we saw with Sean Spicer and the first press statement that came out of him post-inauguration. But anyway, getting off topic here. So there is an article on the Daily Beast titled Taylor Swift's Spineless Feminism. Now, the article is written by one Amy Zimmerman. It's pretty long, so I'm only going to go through just a little bit of it to give you guys an idea of the level of blaming and shaming that feminists have towards a celebrity that maybe shares some of their beliefs, but not all of their beliefs. And it's so funny to see just how far they'll go in order to try to berate them into joining their ranks. Now, the article starts off by talking about the pink pussy hats and all the people who marched and white women who got Donald Trump elected, because it, of course, has to shame the women voters of Donald Trump, whose own agency simply is not there because they didn't follow the I'm with her crowd, right? Again, I love that mentality of I have a differing political view than you, and so in my mind, you simply don't exist. But you do exist because I'm still going to attack you for thinking differently than me until you come around to my way. It's a horrible mindset to have, but it's one that when it comes to modern feminism is pretty much the only mindset you are, I don't know, legally able to hold in that particular ideology. If not, then they oust your ass. But anyway, it goes on here to attack Miss Swift by saying, with all the pink posturing on display last weekend, conversation naturally turned towards Taylor Swift, our nation's most opportunistic celebrity. Taylor has an unrivaled ability to read the room and seize a moment. The country star leveled up by crossing over to pop music, widening her fan base, and earning Swift the title of Queen of the Tweens. She's turned Kennedys into boyfriends, breakups into hit singles, and friendships into headlines. Swift's airtight image control is at once calculating and enviable. On the other hand, she's a badass black widow, sucking all of the fame and blood out of A-list white boys. To say that Taylor Swift is more famous than all of her exes combined, and that she wears the high-waisted size 2 pants in every romantic relationship is an understatement. So just that setup right there is while trying to, I guess, set up who, at least in Amy Zimmerman's mind, Taylor Swift is, it's also using every chance it can to, for one, it essentially calls her a racist by saying sucking all the talent or blood out of all the white boys in music, so insinuating that she doesn't like anyone outside of her own race. And you know what? Her personal preference aside, who cares, right? There's that, and goes on to just attack her for having an airtight image. In Hollywood, your image is literally everything. People will spend their whole lives protecting their image only to have one stupid thing completely have it come crumbling down. Now, me personally, I like those human moments with celebrities because it's relatable. Everyone makes mistakes. That's how we handle them, that we move forward. But what Amy is writing here is that Taylor Swift is essentially so controlling of her image that she's just, an opportunistic person, and she's just basically not a good person is what this first part's saying. But then it goes on here to say, on paper, the 27-year-old pop star has earned a spot in the pantheon of terrifying but totally awesome females. Tracy Flick with a better wardrobe, or Regina George with a bigger click, which is just an odd thing to say. Regina George was a cunt right? Mean Girls, that Queen Bee was a cunt of a character. And, I'm not a Swiftie by any stretch of the imagination. I do enjoy some of her music, but everything I've read about her and seen about her has never implied that she's a cunt. She is, controlling of her image, but she's always very much been about her career and making it the biggest and best it can be, which is funny that essentially that's what Amy Zimmerman is implying here, that Taylor Swift is a bit of a cunt, which makes no fucking sense because she doesn't ever provide any evidence of the sort. But then she goes on to say, but strangely enough, Swift has no interest in leaning into her true potential. Instead, she resolutely tries to preserve her public image as a sweet, romantic girl next door. And what's fucking wrong with that? No, like literally, what is wrong with that? Like, isn't her own prerogative, isn't her own agency up to herself, right? What kind of, isn't the whole notion of feminism, right, about the betterment of women, essentially, is what the second definition of it is. And so if she's trying to make her way in a man's world and she's just doing her thing, she is being a woman and she is being an entertainer and being a pop star and all these other things. And apparently it's not good enough for people like Amy Zimmerman in the Daily Beast when they write this kind of just, really stupid horseshit. I love it because when you look at these kind of these comments, these lines that these people make, you can tell they have no interest in the person's personal agency. Whatever they want to do with their life, how they want to handle their business, is clearly of no concern to them. But they still want to find a way to interject their opinion about how bad of a person Taylor is because she didn't partake in the Women's March over the weekend. Because feminism is nothing if not putting a gun to its followers' heads and forcing them to follow a strict ideology. But it goes on to say, other than Calvin Harris's Tears and Teenagers' Money, Taylor Swift runs on bland feminism and Pinterest-friendly patriotism. Despite the fact that she spent years denying that she was a feminist, Swift's public image is now centered around her squad of social media-friendly sisters. Nobody loves women more than Taylor Swift, as long as the woman in question isn't allergic to cats, dating her ex-boyfriend, or Katy Perry. Additionally, no one loves America more than Taylor Swift, or at very least, no one owns more patriotic onesies, red, white, and blue towels than Tay-Tay. The pop star annually displays these two passions, along with her love of baked goods, in giving Ryan Reynolds Stockholm Syndrome in her famous 4th of July party. So, Taylor Swift enjoys certain things that are patriotic. And maybe a bit tacky. Mother of God. I know, she's a horrible person. We should lock her up in a feminist internment camp for all of them nasty women out there who don't play along with the feminist game. Seriously, like, what kind of bullshit's that? She has a public image of centered around social media friendly sisters. It's a public image versus a private image. Many celebrities have that. There's an outward-facing personality and then who they are internally. If she doesn't want to get involved in politics, then that's her own personal decision. Far too long have we almost forced celebrities in this country, whether they are entertainers or the political spectrum, to put their politics out there in a way that can be used and in some cases weaponized for their party of choice. And that is nothing good. I fucking hate that. I was discussing Donald Trump with my girlfriend, and I flat out blamed The Daily Show and The Colbert Report and those kind of programs that took politics and turned it into a celebrity game. Don't get me wrong, politicians should be interviewed and should be put on the spotlight, but when they become these kind of social media darlings on their own right, and the way that we as a society handle them, I think we gave way for some of these kind of people to care more about, who they're hanging out with and who they're partying with and who they spend their time with versus getting anything done. And, wanting celebrities to force themselves to be political doesn't benefit anyone. If a person doesn't want to be political, that's entirely their fucking choice. But to berate them in what can only be considered a really lighthearted hit piece is just fucking asinine. But she continues here. Given Taylor Swift's love of ladies, cats, in the USA, one might think she'd have an opinion on America's own pussy grabber in chief. Yeah. Unfortunately, the pop star's dedication to female empowerment appears to begin and end at letting Ruby Rose and Lena Dunham share her spotlight. Taylor Swift wasn't just not with her, she didn't even know her. Oh my God. So Taylor Swift is not a fan of Hillary Clinton. Jesus Christ, just toss her up to the Bolsheviks while you're at it. Fucking hell. This is just like, who gives a shit? Lena Dunham did nothing for Hillary Clinton. Lena Dunham could have gone out there and put 2,800 sparklers and lit them and then put shit from her vagina. And nobody would have still voted extra for Hillary Clinton. They just would have looked at it like they look at everything else Lena Dunham does. Like she's a fucking circus, because that's what she is. The full extent of Swift's involvement in the 2016 presidential election was a nonpartisan selfie from the polls. A nonpartisan selfie from the polls. She went to vote. She exercised her constitutional right, and apparently that's not good enough. Oh, that's fucking infuriating. Courtesy of the Instagram, we learned that Swift endorses democracy and cold shoulder blouses. But in terms of candidates, it was impossible to deduce if she voted for Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, or Jill freaking Stein. You also forgot Gary Johnson, and what I'm assuming could be the many people who wrote in Bernie Sanders, because I know quite a few who did, but those numbers are never accurately reported on. But who cares? She voted. Who cares what her politics are? Why are you trying to drag her into your game? Do you not understand, Amy Zimmerman? Do you not understand why you lost the election? This is why you lost the fucking election. You guys lost because you sat there and made identity politics more important than actual politics. When you're attacking pop stars for their belief or their lack thereof, you are legitimately turning people off to the process of wanting to discuss politics. It's why you guys lost, because you demonized any Trump supporter to the point of where they were just like, I'm not going to say anything. And they didn't say anything leading up to the fucking polls when they went and they voted, and then Donald Trump won. There was a reason why there was a 98.2% chance Hillary Clinton was projected to win on election day, because Trump supporters simply were like, no, fuck you. We're not going to give into this bullshit. We're not going to be treated like shit for who we are. And no, by the way, I didn't vote for him. But that's what they were saying. They didn't want to be treated or excised from the community. So what they did is they just said, fuck it, I'm not telling you anything. And went from there, went their own way, voted. They exercised their constitutional right. You should be happy she voted, not be bitching that you don't know who she voted for. For one, it is none of your fucking business, Amy Zimmerman. None of it. Jesus Christ, you self-fucking-involved asshole. All right, goes on to say, asking why Taylor Swift isn't publicly political is asking Meryl Streep is appropriately rated, or if Calvin Harris is sad. As a pretty white girl who has written songs that rely heavily on fiddles, Swift undoubtedly counts a healthy handful of Trump supporters among her fan base. In fact, the so-called alt-right has crowned Swift as the Aryan prom queen of their burgeoning neo-Nazi movement. The Daily Stormer deemed a neo-Nazi website by the Southern Poverty Law Center as if the SPLC they also dubbed Pepe a fucking hate thing. So they don't fucking have any say on anything. Has published an article like Taylor Swift, Avatar of European Imperialism. Wow. Really? No one takes the Daily Stormer seriously. Not even the Daily Stormer takes the Daily Stormer seriously. All right, they write a lot of fucking out there shit just to get attention. They're fucking fake race baiting news. And you're giving into that. See, this is the thing. You are literally going after Taylor Swift for not commenting or not coming out in favor of your candidate because a neo-Nazi white supremacist website was like, we really fucking like her. Okay, she's not a fucking meme. She's not Pepe the Frog. You can't just sit there and assign someone's identity to somebody else because you don't like what that group said about that person. It doesn't work that way. But nope. You're going to try to, because you want Trump in office until 2024. You fucking morons. All right. It says here, the rest of that little bit's all about the fucking articles. Most celebrities would be infuriated by the insinuation that they were the Eva Braun to the virtual community of racist avatars and Pepes, especially if they've been accused of racial insensitivity in the past. But Taylor Swift has always valued apoliticism, even to a fault. Her Girl Squad has been infamously silent on social issues, with card-carrying members like Selena Gomez earning internet ire for her refusal to discuss Black Lives Matter. Let's put it this way. If Josh Kushner attended Women's March, but Carly Cost didn't, I don't know who those people are, while Swift refused to do the bare minimum of sharing her pick for president, she did dine, I don't know, to comment on the march in the most typical Taylor Swift way possible. So much for love, pride, and respect for those who march. She tweeted, "I'm proud to be a woman today, every day." Which, yeah, okay, so that's all she had to say about it is, hey, congrats, you guys marched. I'm happy for you. I'm proud to be a woman. You're happy to be a woman. Yay, women. That's it. That's fucking it. But to say here, like, again, going after Selena Gomez for not wanting to discuss Black Lives Matter, but then you're also going after fucking Taylor Swift for not commenting on what white nationalists said about her, even though Black Lives Matter, for all intents and purposes, founded on a lie, turning into a terrorist organization. So what is it? Pick your fucking poison there, Amy Zimmerman. It's just entirely ridiculous to go after Taylor Swift for being apolitical. And after that, the article just goes on to attack Tom Hiddleston for what he said at the Golden Globes. It's completely ridiculous. These kind of articles do nothing but stir political fucking bullshit. That's all they are designed to do. Taylor Swift has the right and the freedom provided to her under the Constitution of the United States of America to be either as political or apolitical as she wants. She spent a long time getting her career to where it's at. She's endured a lot of shit, whether you like her or not, that's entirely up to you. And it's entirely her business, her agency, her prerogative, if she wants to maintain a level of anonymity or a level of apoliticalness. If she doesn't want to interject herself into party politics or into identity politics, because I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift isn't stupid. She's done this game long enough to kind of know what's going to happen if she says anything. And the fact that people like Amy Zimmerman at the Daily Beast are writing these kind of articles calling her out for not backing Hillary Clinton or not coming out and saying who you should vote for, as if, by the way, that had any fucking impact on the election as a whole. It didn't. If Joss Whedon's super PAC that cost him $500,000 and used everybody from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to shill for Clinton, had zero effect, then let Swift do her own fucking thing, right? And I have no issue with Taylor Swift, period, one way or the other. Again, like some of her music, some of it I don't. Don't care about her dating choices because I'm not a teenage girl and none of that affects me. But it bothers me when I see these kind of articles that attack people for not being political. Right? Because all you're doing is pushing an agenda on somebody else, forcing them to your line of thinking. And that is precisely why Trump won. It's because a lot of people out there didn't want to think the way that they were being told to. They weren't trying to 1984 that shit. And when they pushed back, they were called a bigot, a xenophobe, a sexist, a misogynist. All of these fucking things that pushed them to the underground and got them to vote the way that people didn't expect. And Taylor kept herself the fuck out of it. And you know what? Good for fucking her.